I promise I'm gonna have new show intro music when the new year hits. But for now, we just press on without. But it feels a bit, I don't know, feels a bit naked. Feels like we could use something.
The show today is no exception to some of the great work that I've done in the past.
Did you ever see that guy before?
Not yet.
He's well, let him tell you a little bit about.
Happen to be a little bit of an armchair expert on the subject, if I do say so myself.
Oh no. Oh no.
Justin, do you happen to be an armchair expert in many things?
It turns out that if you're an armchair anything, it's implied that you're not the expert.
Maybe what he actually meant to say is that he's an expert in armchairs.
That could be.
Could that be it? It could be.
That could be it.
So
I met some exegetes that were definitely armchair exegetes, but none of them yet would consider themselves an expert.
Very nice. Very nice. Welcome everyone. It's Thursday night. It's time to read some Hebrew, and I am very happy to be joined by Justin from Deconstruction Zone. Welcome back, Justin. It's always fun.
Hey, thanks for having me back. I have a good time. These are fun for me, and it's like I said before, it's one of the fun things where I can come in and be a student somewhere, and I can expect somebody else to have answers. Not
because you're becoming like the Hank Hanegraaff of skeptic TikTok and YouTube. Sorry, that's probably bad.
Oh boy.
So you obviously know who I'm talking about. You know who that is, I assume.
Yeah, I don't know how I got here. It just happened.
I wonder if Hank Hanegraaff ever thought that. How did I get here? It just happened. But let's say hi to some people in the chat. John Gooderham was here first. Jason Hare is here. Jason, I'm not sure if he was in the chat the last time you were here. He's tuning in from Eretz Yisrael in the middle of the night. And he teaches Hebrew over at Hebrew Cafe. Lil of All Trades is here. Good to see you, Lil. Cuneiform guy is here. Who's not showing up as cuneiform guy anymore because fuck YouTube. And yeah, Brandon Runyon is here. Brandon and I did cuneiform together. Nice. Continuing to do cuneiform. Lawrence from the Behold Network, it's good to see you. And Lawrence, I am very excited. Will be taking my introduction to Hebrew course in the new year. The sign-up link, by the way, for that is available at digitalhammurabi.com. You can go check that out. If there's one thing that I've been dying to do for some time, it's torture Lawrence. So I'm getting my chance. Very excited. Simone is here. Good to see you. I don't know Donkey Sold Man, but it's nice to see.
It's quite a name.
Is that one of yours?
I don't know.
So okay. Hatikva, by the way, everyone. And just
I can say Ahavtika, I love you.
It was fun. I got to explain that to Justin Jones, no, to CJ Cornthwaite. This last
CJ's great.
Yeah, he is. We had a good time. We chatted for a couple hours on
He's
Wednesday.
on your side of the border.
He is.
Yeah.
Probably closer to you. It's strange the way this country works because it's goddamn gigantic. So, you know, it's it's but good. It's nice to run into people on this side of the border every now.
Oh yeah.
Sissy Sparrow, good to see you. And yeah, well, we might as well get started. This is the show for anyone who is new, where I and a special guest tonight happens to be, I'm on the wrong page already. Tonight's happens to be Justin from Deconstruction Zone. We sit down and we read the Hebrew Bible text. We take turns reading a verse and parsing the verbs and translating it. Of course, that's important too. And then maybe pointing out some interesting things going on in what's happening. So we are continuing today. What did I say? Did I say I said verse 18, didn't I?
I think it was 17 or 18, one of the two.
Okay. All right. So I'm pretty sure we read verse 17 last time, and the reason I'm pretty sure of that is because it ends on kol asher ba'aretz yegva, which is this very interesting not so common verb that means to die. But
Yeah.
but maybe Justin and I talked to, or not, sorry, you're Justin. Jordan and I talked about this a fair bit last time. A bunch of English translations, probably other languages too that I don't know. They like to they like to say breathed his last. It has something to do
Mm.
with maybe losing all your breath and ability to breathe. How appropriate for this story. So yeah, so we're picking up in verse 18, and do you want? I'll start us off.
Sure.
You can work out the kinks and
Mhm.
and the Hebrew muscle strains, and then come in with verse 19. Should I wonder, I should maybe make that bigger.
Yeah.
Is it
So
is it
I'm on just my laptop today, so if you can
Oh,
get the
so
text
you
big,
need,
that'd be
yeah,
super helpful.
okay, for
Perfect. That's what
sure.
I'm talking about. We both got the
That's
boomer
better.
eyes, so we've got to get my magnifying glass out.
Oh, I've actually got one right here. Still use it because, and the reason it's right here is because my copy of Sefer Hamalim, the book of words, that's the comprehensive Hebrew dictionary, which includes all the Aramaic and the Hebrew in the rabbinic literature as well. My copy is like it's like a pocket edition, which is hilarious because it's as tall as it is wide and thick. It's literally, it looks like a box. It's a book that looks like a box. And you open it up, and I swear it's microscopic. The words are, I don't know. It's anyways.
Well, they're
Magnifying
bringing
glass.
Jinko jeans back. If you want a pair
Oh,
of pants, you could really put it in.
hey. Maybe, wow. That's what a world. Yeah, I never imagined I'd be able to carry my Sefer Hamalim in my pocket again. Okay. All right. I'm gonna start reading here. V'hakimoti et biriti itach uvata el hateva ata uvanecha ve'ishtecha unshe banecha itach. All right. And this is Yahweh continuing to speak to Noah after he said that he's bringing the floodwaters on the earth and he's going to kill everything that breathes. He says, but this is from the verb kum, which means to set up or to establish. It's a hifil, probably means something to to make set, because I have kept even my commandment, my covenant with you. Um, uh, Sorry, no, it's a vowel consecutive. So, but I will keep my covenant with you, and you will come to Hateva is the ark. You weren't here the last couple times, Justin, but I've been translating Hateva as the box, and reason for this is because that's a much more general, I think, usage of this term. And I mean, this whole story is just riffing off of older creation or older stories about the flood. Perhaps the most famous one is in Atrahasis, and
Mhm.
that's what it's a box. It's a box in Atrahasis. It says it's a box here, so I'm just gonna keep translating it as the box. You will come to the box, you and your sons and your woman and the women of your sons with you. So and that's that. We've got two verbs, as I mentioned. Vahakimoti is a Hifil perfect, first singular from kom with the vav consecutive. And then bata, and I think that's it, right? Yeah. Uvata is a cow. I would say that's probably conjunctive vav in this situation. So it's a cow perfect,
Mhm.
second masculine singular. I translate this, and I expect most translations will translate this as a future expression, and this will happen very often with vav conjunctives in a sequence of verbal expressions, as a way to carry forward
Mhm.
the sense of the previous the aspect of the previous verb. This happens sometimes, so it's not marked as a vav consecutive. So I think it's probably
Interesting.
conjunctive, but still has that same sense and meaning. So
I th- I
yeah,
thought I thought the Vav consecutive and the conjunctive could behave the same way. I didn't realize it needed
they
a
can.
marking
Uh,
to indicate.
I mean, it's Hebrew, right? So it's lots of these things that where we make rules and we follow
Mhm.
rules as to what the text should be doing.
Mhm.
There are plenty of exceptions to these, right?
Mhm.
So, like the vav consecutive is usually recognizable by the patak that appears underneath the vav.
Mhm.
In terms, and then it's less obvious in situations like this where it's prefixed to one of the Begad Kafat letters.
That's what I thought,
Um,
right? Yeah.
yeah, so it's ambiguous here. However, and this is where I'm suggesting it could be either a vav consecutive or a conjunctive. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Joel notes that the dagesh also follows in the first letter, usually the prefix letter of the verb. So
Mm.
in this case, it's ambiguous, but I would say probably a conjunctive vav, but treat it like a vav consecutive based
Okay.
on context, and that's okay, because there are plenty of occasions where the conjunctive vav will just carry forward the aspect of the last verb that was uh that was used. Um I gotta answer this question, um because
Mhm. Mhm.
this is all about my box comment. I mean, that's what an arc is. An arc is a box.
Mhm.
It's old timey, right? It's an old timey way of talking about specific types of boxes. Sacred furniture. Um, Joel keeps saying it's a tabernacle. Yeah, we know. Just shut up already, okay? Um, and yes, it literally has the dimensions of the tabernacle. But it's importantly a box shaped like the tabernacle. I don't know if Joel is aware of this, but a tabernacle wouldn't have floated. Um, tents didn't do that in antiquity. I don't think they do that now. Um,
Even with
so
today's
it
technology, tents have yet to float. Still waiting
think
for that
so.
one.
We're still waiting. Ouch. Ouch. Okay, it's getting spicy in the chat. We should
Oh,
probably
boy.
move on. So yeah, Arc is just old-timey box, really. And I think it's just it's kind of calcified in our mind, and we've got and that's what the Ark of the Covenant is. It's like the Covenant box. It's a box. It's a box, guys. It's a box. So a tabernacle shaped box.
But then again, a
what we're going
box that you put valuables in is a chest in English. So
That's true.
sometimes
Yes. Right. Right.
are they
Yeah,
of no
it's like
value?
that. Yeah, it's you could maybe we could call it a chest.
A floating
I don't know.
chest.
A floating
There's
chest.
options. That's all I'm saying.
It is, but it's not a boat. I think importantly, like properly as in terms of like what we imagine, it's certainly not what Ken Ham imagined when he commissioned his architects to design his fake arc, his fake box. So yeah, it's a box. All right. Verse 19.
All right. Umikau hake, mikau bashar, or basar,
Basar.
shanaim, mikol tave.
Tavi.
The there you go, diphthongs tavi there. El hativa le. This would be a tough one. Lehachit. Did I get that one right? Keet. Lehachit.
So
Itach.
yes. Look.
Some
That's
of the
good.
some of the Hifil forms will get my pronunciation screwed up. Zakar un kiva yehiv. Or no, yehiu.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. You.
There we go. Okay, so there's some stuff happening here. Let's see. Can you guys hear that dog in the background?
I can. Is that
My
your
deepest
dog?
apologies. It is not.
Oh, okay.
I can escort it outside if necessary. Okay, so and from all, and so I think we understand the first word, and from all. The second word I translated as like the living.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that's not a perfect translation. I wasn't sure how to get it just right. From all that is alive, or
that works. You will have to now. One of the things when you encounter coal, one of the first things that you have to determine is whether you're translating this as a collective,
right,
or as how do you it's the difference. Joel, maybe you can, or somebody else can help me out. It's the difference basically between all and everything. All is like collective of like all the people. Everything is like it's like all the things, or all the individual persons, every person, everything. I would translate this and from every living, everything that lives, every living thing. I think is probably more in line with what it's trying to convey here.
yeah, that definitely makes sense. And then from all flesh, and then shanim is 2. Or hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, it's 2, and then and from all that goes or comes. I'm sorry, no, from all. Let's see. That's the Hifil second person of. Let's see. And from all. I guess it'd be you will go to the box. But that can't be us. Let's see, the second person in here. What are we doing with the second person verb in here? You will cause to go to the box. There we go.
Yeah.
Now we get it. I was like, what? Why are they? Okay, so
there
we go, because it's directive. It's Hifil. You're gonna bring. Yeah. You're gonna bring to the box.
There you go.
There you go. There we go. I was like, wait a minute. Give me a second to think through that one. All right, so There we go. So you're going to cause to bring to the box, and now we've got, I think, a Hifil infinitive
Good.
to cause to live, but I think we would say to keep alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then with you, easy. With you is going to be a male and a female. So unekfa and a
Yep.
female, and then the last one is another form of live. Or will be. I'm sorry, will be with
Yeah.
you. It will be with you.
With you. To okay. So on you will bring to the box to keep alive with
Actually,
you.
they will be
They
with you.
they
Sorry.
will be male and female. Is yeah, because I think that's a
Oh,
separate clause.
sorry. Yep.
That
Yep.
Yep.
We don't have to bring that over. You're right. Yeah, they will
Yep.
be. There we go. All right. So I think that makes the most sense. So what we would read through this is then from each living thing,
Yeah.
from all the flesh, two of each you will bring to
Mm-hmm.
the box to keep alive with you, male and female they will be.
Yeah.
I think would be a clean way to do that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's much better.
And then for the verbs, the first one is a hifil of bow. So second person imperfect hifil is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see, the next one is going to be a hifil infinitive, which is lahakit. So to keep alive or to, uh, remain alive or cause them to survive, maybe. And then that might be the only verbs in there.
Yeah, just you is the last one there.
Oh yeah, there we go. The last one. Yeah, yehu. Yeah, that's a cow.
Yep.
Third common plural.
Mm-hmm.
Imperfect.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Do you know? No, that's good. Good job, Justin. Do you know the significance of these words? Zakar unkenva, male and female. Do you know do you know what those are about? Probably not. I'll just say
So
something. Unless
there's probably some coding in here that you picked up on and I
yeah.
didn't. Other than that, in chapter 7, we get Ish in Isha or Anashi or
It's very
Nashim.
interesting
I
when
was
we
like,
get
well,
there,
why
right?
would we
Yeah.
change? But
Yeah.
what's the coding here?
So now, and it's not and it's not necessarily stuff it's because I've worked on these terms in things that I've published before. But these are the words that are used in Genesis chapter 1 to describe humankind in their creation, right?
He created them male and
Zakar
female.
Keva, yeah. Etymologically, it's very interesting. Zakar, which means male. The root of that is zakar, which means to remember,
Right.
and there's another nominal form that means memory. There's a very good feminist theologian by the name of Susan Haddocks, I believe it was, talked about she talked about these two terms, and she talked about the male as the memorial, the keeper of memory, the one through whom memory is passed, is communicated through this word. Unkeva, nekva is the word that means female. It's not quite as flowery. So the word, the masculine form of the word means whole.
Oh. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Oh
that's
no.
like,
Okay.
it's fitting, right? I mean,
Sure.
listen, Mark Driscoll loves these sorts of passages. But this is literally what a woman is in the mind
She's
of
A receptacle.
She's the receptacle. Yes.
Yep.
You put
Sure.
things. You put things inside. You put it in the hole. So
Oh boy.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I
boy.
know. It's the Bible, everyone. It says thing. There's things that it says. They're Now this is the
We didn't
etymology,
write it.
right? I'm no, we didn't. We did. We need to be clear on that. This is the etymology, which that's not necessary. It's not like this is what these people envisioned. But at one time, these words came out of these ideas long before the text was written, right? But look, Vish is here. Hi, Vish. So, oh, and Noise Ending tuned in to point out that they have just started learning Hebrew via Dr. Josh's new
Fantastic.
Hebrew book. It's very good. I got to use them, Justin, for teaching my first Hebrew cohort, and I will be going back to them again for the new one starting in January. So I'm
That's
very excited
exciting.
about it. Yeah, it is. It's good. So, all right, here we are. Sorry, I just did you just see that? Did you just are you laughing at the super chat? I have to. Okay. Maya Atkinson never gives me money. So holy cow. This is a special occasion for $5. Thank you, Maya. She says, can't stay. Hockey's on, and I'm an asshole.
Hockey's important. It's okay.
Yeah. And there's a backstory to this. I don't believe for a second that Maya's watching hockey because she doesn't do that. but that's something I do, right? And very
Sure.
often I will bail on people's streams to go watch a game. I did that last night, as a matter of fact. So, oh, thank you, Maya. I appreciate it. That's very good. Okay, so that was verse 19, right?
19. Yep. Mm-hmm.
We're on verse 20, and thank God it ends at the bottom of the page. That is convenient. All right. Meha of leminehu umin habhema lemina miko remesh ha adama leminehu shenayim miko yavou elecha lehachayot. All right. Oh no. Oh God, she's making it worse, Dustin. Everyone,
no.
please just ignore Maya. I can't even dignify the response. I'm sorry. Okay. From this is singular. From the bird. It's collective though in Hebrew.
I noticed that.
This is a word, right? Which is most commonly considered collective. From the birds for its kind, and from the livestock for its kind, from everything that creeps on the earth, or for every creeper of the earth is probably better, for its kind, to from all things will come to you to be kept alive, essentially. So yeah. Verbs, it's just the one
Yeah.
here right at the end. Yavou is a cal imperfect, third plural from bo. And it means to come. This is something, Jordan and I talked about this when we read the last bit of this text, how there's a lot of repetition of this word bow, to come.
Oh yeah.
And it's very interesting. There's this repetition throughout this story of everyone coming to the box, coming to the ark. It's just a it's just maybe a significant way of saying it. I don't know if it means anything special. I just think it's interesting the way it sounds. Oh yes, also we have repeated here this Hifil infinitive construct from chaya, meaning to live, lahachayot, with the prefixed preposition lamed, to be kept alive, for keeping alive, for you to keep alive. It's probably more active, actually.
Yeah, I had one question on the form. I noticed that in the prior verse, we get a different ending. We got both of them get a yot ending, but one of them gets the long yot.
Yep.
Is there a meaning to a significance to that?
No, nothing in terms of the meaning. No.
Okay.
This is what we call orthography, spelling conventions in the Hebrew text, and there are vowel letters introduced to the language at some point in the early Iron Age, so like 9th century BCE, and then there's an increase of usage of these vowel letters much later on, in the post-Persian period. But the thought is that you can actually sort of isolate when some of these texts appeared on the basis of their on the basis of these shorter forms versus longer forms of words. As you can see, there are plenty of times where the same author, and that's what we're dealing with here, not through the whole story, but in this particular block of text, it's the same author. They will just kind of go back and forth, and this is something that we see in the later period, like in the mid to late Second Temple period, when the Dead Sea Scrolls were written. There's a lot more of this longer orthography, but again, same scribe, same writer will not necessarily spell the same thing consistently. Some of this has to do with in the Hebrew Bible text. Some of your shorter forms versus longer forms will also have to do with how you're accenting the individual verses, and that is probably, I should say, that's probably why, because you see this lecha chayot in at the end of verse 20, because it's the last word in verse 20. It's carrying the heaviest accent in the verse, right? And you'll see it's a pausal form, and we know that because it's got the accent there, the metheg, right underneath the yod, right? And that's different from in verse 19, where it's not carrying the same heavy accent on the end. So that might have something to do with this as well. So
unfortunately, when I was in seminary, we didn't get a lesson in reading like the Masoretic accents. Like it just didn't happen. But some of them are a little bit important.
yeah, they are. They are. They certainly can be, and it's very good. Like I certainly didn't. I think there was a time I had to memorize them, but promptly forgot them afterwards. In one of the in just because like with the manuscripts that I was dealing with, they just weren't especially important. But I think it's important that everybody takes the time to learn them at least, and to understand what they are. And it's very easy to do. You can learn them in a day. Just familiarize yourself with them. There's some good resources for that as well. Jason, you've recommended before a good book for learning the accents and the cannellation. If you're still here and you could drop that in the chat, that would be great. Speaking of, thank you for sending me a super chat to tell me that my class link is defective. So I will make sure to get that fixed. I'm sorry that you had to spend money to tell me that. You didn't have to, but I appreciate that you spent the money to tell me about that, and I will fix it. And I'm happy that somebody tried to click the link. That's awesome. So, I wasn't sure if anybody had tried to click the link yet, but now you have. So we will get that looked after. Has a certain somebody tried to tell Kip he doesn't know his Hebrew yet? Plenty of people like to say all sorts of shit about me like that. So I don't know.
I know a certain Egyptologist that might differ.
Well, yeah, I think that's fair. Shall we move on?
Sure. Sure. We don't want to get drug into that discussion.
Probably, yeah, maybe not.
Okay. Okay. Va'ata kak lecha mikol mi'akol asher ya'akel va'as. Let me get this one again.
always-
Va'as yeah, that there's no
Va'asafta. Yeah.
asafta. Yeah, okay. You don't really pronounce the vowel marker there. Elecha vachia lecha
Good.
valahem leachla.
Good.
So it'd be and you take for you from all the food, or from all the food, which
Yep.
Let's see. How would I pronounce this one? It's I know that it's got to be passive.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like a nafal.
Well.
So I'm trying to think. It doesn't. I mean, from it can't be. It will eat. That couldn't work. But it could be. It can be eaten. So from all which it can be eaten. So in my brain, I'm thinking this has to be a nifal, even though I can't find any markings of a nifal in here. Probably because we've got like a weak first letter, and we can't put a dagesh in it, and it just fell off somewhere. It's off. It fell off the side of the ark with the rema. That Talmud joke. And then next verb would be. Sorry. And you will gather. You will gather to you, and it will be to you, and it will be to you. I don't know why we have a vav in front of lacham. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there we go.
It's not bread. Yeah.
For a half a second, I said, why does it say and bread? But that's a hey.
Yeah.
So it'd be so it's not bread. Sorry, it's not lechem. It'd be to them, and to them. This be an infinitive to eat. Is that an infinitive to eat?
I thought that was just it's just a noun meaning food.
Oh, interesting.
So it's
I
just
didn't
slightly
recognize
different.
that.
There's two different nouns here, right?
Yeah.
Ma'achal, which means
Right.
food,
Sure.
and achala, which means food. So yeah,
I got
it's
you. Okay.
that's what we're doing here. So
let's see.
just, yeah.
I think the first verb was easy enough. It's an imperative.
Yep.
I'm assuming it's just a cal imperative.
Mm-hmm.
The next
masculine singular, importantly.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely masculine singular. Yeah. Our next verb to gather. I'm sorry, not to gather, but we have another verb to be eaten. Ye'akel. I gather that this has to be passive if I'm going to translate it the way that I think it reads, but I'm not sure how you would look at that and determine that it's a passive verb. It doesn't have the markings of it certainly wouldn't be a pual or a
No,
hofal,
it is
but in
it
the
is a
fall it could
nifal.
be.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm going to I'm so happy actually right now about this because now we're gonna walk through this so that that we can see exactly what's going on here. So I'm gonna just share my whiteboard and we're gonna do whiteboard things,
That's what I'm
which is
talking
fun.
about.
Yeah, right. So this is, can everyone, no, you can't because it's not on the stage yet. And shut up. I'm not a boomer. I'm
It's
really I'm
it's a
not
little
okay.
cruel to start a verbal stem with a letter that likes to assimilate. It's just not nice.
It's true. So it's an imperfect, right?
Mhm.
And what's happening is the expectation is so if this is I'll just let's start actually with the perfect form. um so let's get rid of the yod. uh the imperfect form would be ne'ochel. The imperfect form then you would think would be yin ochel.
Right.
But what happens with nifal imperfects is this noon always assimilates, right?
Sure.
So this goes away. We don't see it. And I'll just move this over. So, and you end up with this. And when the noon assimilates, ordinarily, it, you know,
Sure.
would appear as a dogish, but because this is an olive, because this is a quiescent guttural letter that can't take the dogish, what has to happen then is compensatory lengthening of the preceding vowel in the verbal prefix. So that yod turns into a sere, ye
Mm.
ochel. And so that's this is just such a dead giveaway whenever you see this sere in particular in the verbal prefixes, in like the cal and in the nifal where they appear. This is just a dead giveaway that that you're dealing with this compensatory lengthening, that this letter here is not being doubled because it can't take the dogash.
Okay.
Therefore, this letter has to be long. So that's what's going on. And when it comes to forms like these, even if you don't recognize the sere right away, what I tell my students, because this is far more consistent for tracking and seeing the individual stems everywhere, is you really should be looking at the vowel in this first letter here, because that's usually very consistent. In the nifal, the vowel that appears in the first letter of the root, the first radical, as we call it, is always going to be a comments. So when you see that, you're going to go, oh, right. So this is the characteristic vowel pattern for nifal. It's probably a nifal. Oh, sure enough, there's a lengthened sere. There's a lengthened vowel in the prefix, which means that you know the noon is hiding in
Mhm.
this aleph, but it can't really because the aleph is too weak to hide anything. So yeah, it's so I always tell my students, pay close attention to the vowel patterns in the way that these verbs are formed. That comments there is always just a really easy way to spot the nifals right from the get-go. I'm going to bring the text back up here.
That's one of those words where if you were reading it in the pre-Masoretic form, you would
Mhm.
just have to really know what was happening.
Absolutely. And it's just it's through, because these are the vowel signs are just reflections of pronunciation, right? It's just the
Mhm.
reflecting the way the text sounds. That's when the Masoretes added them. Um, so and as someone who spends a lot of time reading unpointed texts in the Dead Sea Scrolls, there's all sorts of that ambiguity. There's plenty of times though where like a particular verb, a particular word will only occur in, the PL, or it will only occur in the CAL. So you just know it that way. You know how it sounds. You know what it's supposed to look like, even if they look identical.
Mhm.
So that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, you're absolutely right that in a situation like this, like without any of the vowel pointing, that could be a CAL imperfect. Or a NIFL imperfect. It could theoretically be a PL imperfect, although I don't know that Achal occurs in the PL. And all you have to go on is context. If you don't
Right.
know, like if you haven't heard this text for your entire life. So
'Cause even with the vowel
yeah.
pointings, I could tell if it was, Cal imperfect, it didn't fit the context, even though at first glance, that's what it looked like, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Colton Honeycutt says here, I will usually tell folks to think about vowel classes instead of individual vowels in the patterns to account for exceptions. Yep. No, it's a very good point. Um, Simone reads text also notes that this could be a cal passive. Could this be a cal passive reinterpreted as a nifal by the master? Now we're getting into the weeds. Yeah, I guess I have to think that through, and I'll have to I'll have to sit down and look at the text. But I suppose, yeah, that's always fun too. Very often, if very often the cal passive also looks exactly like the pual, so
Oh boy.
uh, which is also less helpful. It's the pool or the no, it's I'm pretty sure it's the pool. So yeah. All right. We killed that one with fire, didn't we?
It was important though, because like for
Very.
if you're a student at my level, these are the important things that you'll get hung up on.
Yep. Exactly. No, it's nice. It's nice when these sorts of things happen. And we got this short little guy here right at the end, verse 22. Vaya as Noach kekol asher tzeva oto Elohim kain asa. And Noah did, um, basically, I guess more woodenly, just as everything that God had commanded him, so Noah did, or in accordance with everything
Mhm, mhm.
um, that God had commanded him, so Noah did it. Um, and I guess yeah, I should that first bit there, the vayas Noach probably stands alone as its own verbal clause, and Noah did it, or Noah did so. Um, And for the verbs here, we've got vaya as is a cal imperfect third masculine singular with the vav consecutive from asa. Notice this is a third hey verb, so that hey in the root drops off at the end. And then we've got siva. This is a PL perfect third
Mm.
masculine singular, and something. And again, vowel patterns are important here. The way it's vocalized gives away what the stem is, even if you don't quite see it. um the E or I class vowel in that first syllable of the perfect is a sign of the PL almost always. Tsiva. Notice also the vav here, even though
Yeah.
this is a hollow verb, right? Which means it's got that vowel letter in the second radical, either yod or vav. But in what happens in the PL, because you're doubling that letter, that's one of the signs of the PL, is that doubled second radical. Because of that, this vowel vav turns into a consonantal vav,
Mm-hmm.
and carries with it the pronunciation. Then, right? Um, so that's why that's there. Otherwise, I guess you could be, if you didn't recognize that um as a consonant, then you could really end up struggling trying to pronounce that letter as the vowel letter. Shorek. Uh
Right.
se se woo se ooh ah. I don't know. Uh and you
Yeah,
would
like
struggle to,
you
to
like
pronounce
if
it.
you recognize the root word, like your
Mhm.
brain would kick in and say, no, obviously you can't say it that way. But if you don't
Yes.
know the root word, you would look at that and be like, oh, it looks like Zavua or some Saua or some version of that.
Yeah. It's very, yeah. So, and then we've got the last one there is a saw. Just a
Sure.
basic cow perfect third masculine singular from saw to do. So, yeah. It's, yeah, very straightforward. Just that one form in the PL. So, uh now, what? Okay, so we have about 10 minutes left. Maybe we'll finish up there. It's unfortunate we didn't get to chapter 7, but I'd like to say, and it just is like, damn it, because or you'd like to, maybe you
The
want to say some things about what kind of what we were talking about earlier in this transition between chapter 6 and chapter 7.
Yeah, because if we really get into reading chapter 7, we're going to spend some time. But I noticed right away when I got to chapter 7, 'cause I read this earlier today, there was a shift in like vocabulary that seemed somewhat obvious to me, and even in like some of the ways that we saw the words formed, and
Yeah,
like even one. Let me grab one. For example, and Yahweh said to Noah, "Go, atah." Vakal bait ka I should have marked the oat. I didn't read enough of chapter
where?
6 to see oat at the
What
end of
verse?
verse 1.
Oh, in verse
Oat
1. Okay.
ka. I don't know if we had a lot of oat for. We did get an oat in last verse of chapter 6. We got a fill in here. Let's see. I don't. Verse 1 didn't really contain anything that I wrote down as being uniquely different. At least, let me see if I forgot my notes. But there certainly is. If you're reading verse or chapter 6 into chapter 7, I noticed that there was definitely a shift in some of like the vocabulary. The one that I noted on my page was we almost immediately went from Zaker to Ish.
Yeah.
The male and female language changed, and we almost immediately get the introduction of Yahweh as opposed to Elohim. So the very last verse of chapter 6 ends with Elohim Kain Asa. So
Yeah.
and then immediately we go from Elohim to Yahweh. And then let's see. We 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 got a couple interesting things going on here, but nothing that really stood out other than those were the two that stood out the most when I was reading through these couple verses.
So, I mean, a couple
Oh,
things. Oh, go ahead.
Anoki was the other one, sorry.
Oh, yes, that's right. You
Down
you
in
mentioned
verse
that earlier.
4, I circled Anoki, whereas prior
Oh, there we
for
go.
the pronoun it was ani. And I
This one
was
right here.
curious if that's artistic or if that's obviously an editor scribal difference.
So, and I think you pointed out that It's a shorter form, ani, in the text. See if I can find something quickly here in
I think
at
verse
the end of
17's got one.
verse 17. Yeah, there we go.
17.
Va'ani,
Right.
right there. Va'ani,
Yeah.
hineni,
Hanani.
as opposed to this longer spelling in verse did you say
Was it 4?
7
Let me
or 4? Verse 4. There we go.
yeah.
Yeah. So Anohi. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's there's enough of these small indicators that make you think, yeah, maybe this is just a convention of a different writer. There's a stronger fixation in this text that we'll see. You see the repetition of these important words starting in verse 2, the habahema
Mhm.
tehora, the ritually pure,
Right.
livestock, the ritual, versus
The
things that
7
aren't
clean.
ritually pure. Yeah, you've got seven clean pairs of animals versus just a single pair of unclean animals. Very interesting. The one that I noticed and kind of zoned in on, and the reason for this is because when Jordan and I last read chapter 6, there's this heavy concentration in chapter 6. I'll just pull this up here. In particular at around, it's like verse 12 or 13, I think, is where it starts. Yeah, so we go all the way back to verse 11. Or is it even further back? No, I think it's right around verse 11. It says, "V'tishachet haaretz lifnei ha'Elohim." The earth was tishachet. It was spoiled. It was ruined before
Mhm.
Yahweh. That verb itself is repeated again in the following verse. Vehene, in verse 12. Vehene neshchata. Behold, the earth, speaking of the earth, it was ruined. Ki hishchit, same root again, because all flesh was corrupted. And then later on, when Yahweh's talking, or when God is talking about what he's going to do, he says he's going to bring an end to all flesh, because the earth is full of violence, he says in verse 13 here. And then right at the beginning of the line, just to end verse 13, from before them, and behold, they have basically caused they have basically caused spoilage. They're the ones who spoiled the earth. Or no, this is Yahweh, who will destroy them, with the participle mashchitam, the Hifil particip, with the earth. This is not the direct object marker. Was throwing me off for a minute. This is actually the preposition add. So there's this repeated usage of this word, of this root shachat, throughout this part of the text, talking about the destruction of the earth, talking about how terrible the earth is, and that's the word that's used by God to talk about destroying it. Now look down here in I think it's in verse 4, where he says, for up to 7 days, I'm just gonna read the English here until I get to where up to 7 days I will make rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and machiti umachiti et kol hayikum asher asiti me'al pnei ha'adama. So that's verse 4. Umahiti is a different word altogether from I think it's maha. It's macha. Yeah, it's a cow. It's from macha, and it means to exterminate or
Oh,
to annihilate. So it's just a completely different word here.
yeah.
After the repetition, the frequent repetition, the focus on this one term, right? Shachat, for God's act of destruction. All of a sudden, you've got something completely different here. It's a synonym. It basically means the same thing. There's some nuance to it, right? But the shift is important. The shift is interesting. And what you're pointing out is what like this is a text. This is like the classic documentary hypothesis text, the story of Noah's Ark, because there's this shifting back and forth between the P author and the non-P author, and some of the there's some scholars will quibble about some of the boundaries on
Right.
these sources, but most agree pretty much with the larger blocks, like where things are. And this is one of them, right? You picked up on it right at this transition from chapter 6 to chapter 7. That's exactly what we're looking at here. You're seeing this transition from the P writer who finishes up chapter 6, and then the non-P, we used to call him the Yahwist, but nobody calls him the Yahwist anymore. The non-P the non-P writer. It's kind of weird because I know this is like this is a philosophy thing, P and non-P. Well, it's now a Bible thing too.
But now it's a law of logic and a law of
Yeah,
redaction.
yeah, that's right. Exactly. That's what we're talking about. So it's super cool. I like that you noticed that right away too. But honestly, I think we're out of time, and I blabbed away for a while. You got anything to finish up here? I've got a couple more.
I had one question.
Yeah.
So there is, I just for fun, I went back to Eugene Ulrich's Dead Sea Scroll, biblical Dead Sea Scrolls, to see if there were any differences
Mm.
between
Oh,
the
okay.
Masoretic
Nice.
text and this text. And while I didn't find anything that I would classify as like super interesting, I did have like a grammar question on one on one form. So let's see, it's going to be in verse 19, and it's
This is chapter 6, right?
chapter 6, verse 19. And with you, right? So Itak, with you, Zakar, male and female, so on and so forth. In the Masoretic text, it reads like what you would expect, with just the kaf at the end. In the Dead Sea version, it's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
kaf hey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I was curious what's happening with that.
So this is, remember how I talked about orthography earlier
Mhm.
and spelling conventions? This is one of these things that you see with great frequency in the Dead Sea Scrolls. And I'll bring my whiteboard back up because because I it's fun. But yeah, here we go. Okay. So I have to put it on the stage. All right. So you're talking about
Yeah.
this, right? Itka. In which one is it? Let me look.
It's Aleph, Tav, Kaf Hey.
Yep. So
And
this
then
is
in the
6Q1.
well, even more interesting, the final Kaf on the Masoretic text has not the aval in it. It's not a
It's this, isn't it? It's
Let's see, what did we have here? It was,
is it Itak?
yeah, it was
I
Itak.
think it's yeah.
Yep, and in the Dead Sea Scrolls, different.
So yeah, so this is, oh shoot, sorry. So this is, oh, and it did a thing. There we go.
Because if it was Itak in the Dead Sea variety, I would imagine that the hey wouldn't be there. Like it would have no function.
Correct. Yeah.
So
this
it's
is
got to
like,
be
yeah,
Adka.
this is Ithaca. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is like, this is pointed in the Masoretic text version. This one here. Like this is pointed like a feminine second person pronominal suffix, right? But this is probably not. It doesn't make any sense,
Right.
you know, in the context of so this is probably just like a pronunciation thing. This is the way they vocalized it, just out of, like, sometimes we'll take shortcuts in the way that we pronounce things in English, right? So this is probably just what happened here, even though it's a masculine pronoun. It's just vocalized and pointed as if it's feminine. And what you're seeing in the Dead Sea Scrolls is they do this quite a lot, is these long forms of pronominal suffixes. So ka, kof, he
Right.
is the second masculine singular pronominal suffix. You see, like, other ones, like, for the third masculine plural, quite often you'll see hema as opposed to like haim.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll do this quite a bit. And when you see this in the biblical text too, but quite a lot in the Dead Sea Scrolls. You very most often we think of, like in the Masoretic text, the third masculine singular pronominal suffix is just the vav, o, but in the Dead Sea Scrolls you'll often see ho. So they don't change the meaning of the text at all, but they're very, very interesting marks of scribalism. Like these are conventions of how scribes did their work. There's tons and tons of discussion in terms of how to understand why they started using and preferring these longer forms. For a while, I don't think this is necessarily the case anymore. It was thought that the longer forms were as aids for pronunciation as people started to become less familiar with the text. I don't think that's really where scholars are now, though, in terms of the way that they evaluate these things. But nice. I'm glad you checked. And this is, if you didn't see it, that's, by the way, that's 6Q1 where this occurs. So that's from Cave 6, copy of the book of Genesis. How old is that one? Does it have the, I don't have it here.
So it's listed as originally being paleo, so it's, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The paleo form is not what's in Eugene Ulrich's book, though. It's in the
they
Aramaic
transcribe
script.
they transcribe everything to the Aramaic just because it's easier. It's a pain in the ass printing Paleo Hebrew.
I bet.
So yeah, so it just but that's a bookseller, a book maker thing. But that's cool, man. I'm glad you pointed that out. I'm glad you saw that. So I got a couple things here before we shut it down. I got a couple questions from Brian Moore. 2 questions. Is learning Hebrew for biblical interpretation worthwhile? If so, do you have particular resources you recommend? If you want to know what the Bible says, if you want to know what the Old Testament says, if you want to have a firm grasp on what's in the text, I would say yes, absolutely, you should learn Hebrew. I don't know if you have any, like Justin has learned some. He's continuing to work his way through it. I don't know. What do you have to say? It's something that I think you use on a regular basis in the conversations that you have on your channel.
I would say if you want to know the minutia, you should learn the Hebrew. If you're just looking for a generalized meaning of the text, you'll get fine. You know, pick up an NRSV, UE, or whatever. But if you actually want to get into the nitty gritty, the nuts and bolts, you'll never regret spending the time to learn Greek and Hebrew. It makes it more fun because you see sometimes there's like hidden jokes in the text and puns, and they rhyme stuff. They pick words sometimes because they rhyme. There's all kinds of fun stuff you'll find. Like in English, you read it and you're like, well, that's a weird word choice. But then you read it in Hebrew, like, oh, because it sounded really good.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, that's absolutely right. So, and do I have particular resources you recommend? Yeah, definitely. Jason was in the chat in the early going. He runs a great channel called the Hebrew Cafe, where he does some pretty intensive work in helping people to learn the language and then helping people to read the language, and all of that is free. But you know, maybe join his Patreon or something too. I'm sure he'd appreciate that. But if you're serious about it, not that that he's not serious, and you could certainly learn through him. But I'll be starting my own course again. I'm just finishing up my first cohort in introducing biblical Hebrew. I'll be starting a new course on, I think we're going on January 13th. Don't click the link in the description because I've been told that it does not work. So I will be sure to correct that. But what you can do is go to digitalhammurabi.com and look for courses there, and you should be able to see something. And if you don't see something that links to my course starting in January, then just email Megan and she can get you set up. So but yeah, I'm probably a little biased just because I do this all day every day. But I think again, if you are keenly interested in the biblical text, if you love reading it and you want to know it better, learning the language is an excellent place to go to do that. And then I got one more super chat here. Oh, look, this is from my friend Dave Ibrit, co-host of Toast to Toast with Apologia. Your user handle is Kerbluey. I didn't know that. That's pretty great. And thanks, Dave, for the $10. As part of my mission to sidetrack every stream, Kipp, do you believe it is time for the Flames to purposely tank and chase the #1 pick? I'll hang up and let you answer. Big fan of the channel. Well, I'm glad you asked, Dave, because nobody ever asks me my opinion about what the Flames should be doing. So I feel that it's important for the Flames to go for it this year and to try and land that high draft pick. I mean, for fuck's sake, the highest the team has ever picked in the draft is number 4. Number 4. It's high time we get some of that sweet lottery pick talent into the fold. Let's do it. Come on. Tank all the way. I am all 100% in on Team Tank here. Happy to see this through. So thanks for the question, Dave. Really appreciate it.
Draft strategy is important.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. So all right. Well, it's already 1:15. We should probably shut it down. I need to go find something to eat.
Well, thanks for having me. And
Oh,
in a week from today, you're going to be on my stream. We'll talk further, doing a deep dive on Jeremiah. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm very excited about this. So, I wrote my my PhD dissertation on the book of Jeremiah. It's just from a textual perspective and from a compositional, historical compositional perspective, maybe the most fascinating, I think, of all the books of the Hebrew Bible, just because of the kind of evidence that we have. And I think I'll be able to. I know you know a lot of this, but I think when we do the stream next week, I'll be able to show you some new things maybe
I'll be
that
excited.
that you haven't seen before, just from the manuscripts that I've worked on. So
Okay.
and that's on your channel.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. And then
I'm excited about it.
I'll make sure to push everybody over to your channel during the live stream. Make sure they know where to get the goods.
I appreciate that very much. So, always a pleasure, Justin. Thanks for coming by.
Had a blast.
Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. And I think we'll just I gotta find. I can do the ending. I stopped doing the intro because it's got Josh's face all over it. But I can do the ending. So, have a good night, everyone. Ha tikva.